So one day I'm on a train in Penn Station, and I was standing on the platform, and I noticed this girl sitting on a bench. It was rush hour, so it was very crowded on a train platform, and the train was pulling in, and I had noticed it, and I was on my way to walk over to her, and then I kind of got in my head thinking about, what if she didn't give me her any attention and I got ignored, and then I started kind of feeling self-conscious, and I was in my head so much that when I looked up, she wasn't where I remembered her being, and when I looked down the platform, she was all the way down. So now I'm running to try to go and meet this girl, and by the time as I got there, she had moved to the side to let the people who were getting off the train off, and we bumped into each other and we locked eyes, and I was just like, wow, you're gorgeous. That's the first thing that came to my mind. We got on the train, and as I'm talking to her about this Rubik's Cube, I'm trying to figure out when to ask her for the phone number. And anyway, right when I built up the courage to just ask, she said, nice to meet you, bye. And she walks off the train, and the doors close. Luckily, somebody in another car was holding the doors, and so the conductor opened up all the doors, and then I left. But when I walked out on the platform, she was already walking up the steps, and I'm like, man, do I follow behind her and, risk looking like a pervert or a stalker, and I did it. I ran up there, took the steps, and talked to her, and I got the phone number. And so then 5 years later, I'm in the Bahamas, and I'm standing on this platform looking out at the water and the sun and just, taking in this beautiful moment. And when I looked behind me, I saw her coming down the steps, and she was coming to meet me at the altar. And I was like, I thought back to the train and, how sometimes we get so caught up in our heads about how we're going to be perceived, or, when I ran up the steps, that was a hurdle for me. I had to get over, my self-perception and just really go after my goal. And I always think about that just in terms of not only my personal life, but my professional life, how I have to get out my head and I just got to go for it, But that's how I met my wife. What has been better, what has improved in me being in a committed relationship with my wife, that is totally different than who I was as a single man, is one is my ability to commit to somebody, because I made it, back in the days before I got married, I was definitely, meeting as many of God's greatest creation that was possible, just because I love women, But my wife, I would say one of the things that she has really helped me to grow in is my ability to receive love. I would say when I first met her, she was like a jug of love, and I just had a big cup. And so it was a lot for me. I had to expand my ability to commit. I think she taught me to be more responsible, because I think as a single man, you don't have to be responsible for another person's emotional happiness. And not so much being responsible for it, but being responsible in it. So if you do something knowing that you're partnering with somebody, this is your other half, you have to be mindful about how you operate. And you don't need that as a single person. And that helps you to grow. She has also helped me to love somebody at the highest level is a different experience, man, and it's something you could tell somebody, but you can't quite describe it. And so I know for a lot of single men, it's like, why get married? It's like all these women out here, why, But I think when we talk about purpose and growth, you can't get to those levels of existence without committing to somebody at the highest level. So those are things I get from my wife. No, I think the great woman would be your mother, You have a great mom, helps to bring out greatness in a man. But I don't think a man needs a woman to be great. I do think that, having good relationships can help you to develop. And there are a lot of great men who are perceived by the world in a different aspect. I don't think Obama could have been president if he was a single man. So there is something to partnering with someone. In the Holy Sacraments, in the Catholic Church or Catholicism, they have, baptism, confirmation, and one of them is marriage. There is something about committing to someone else. I wouldn't say that marriage is for everybody, but I know commitment is. And there are different forms of commitment across the globe. But to commit to another person helps you to develop as a human being. So, so I'm kind of 50-50 on that. You can be great without having a woman in your life, but having a woman in your life can add to your greatness. Women more often than not actually see a man's potential. Women are intuitive and they are nurturers, so they can see what is possible. But after failing, or maybe that person hurting them, they may feel like, I'm not going to build it with somebody anymore. I want somebody that's ready-made. I don't have time to go through something, and that person end up leaving me. So she may be a little bit more aggressive around, I want a guy with this, and this. But his journey might have been so treacherous and up and down, and so now he's a little bit more leery about who he lets in his life, because there's gold diggers out there. But there are women out there who are looking for partnership and willing to bring something to the table. But I would say on both sides, I think it's important for a man to have his own before he come into a relationship. It just allows him to be more confident, more secure in himself. But I would say the same on the woman's side. It doesn't always have to be tangible resources, but being a good person, being loyal, being honest, those are assets as well. So don't just focus on, having things and, avoiding people who are looking for someone who's established. What they're really looking for is someone who is, a make it happen person, a person who's going to do what they said, someone who's loyal, committed, not an opportunist, somebody who's really looking to build with somebody. And so you can build at different stages. You can build from the ground up, or you could build from almost there. I'm on my way. I got myself now. I'm looking to be interdependent as opposed to independent.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.